Have you ever wanted something so badly? A job, a relationship, an opportunity. But before anyone could tell you no, you rejected yourself first? You didn't apply. You didn't reach out. You walked away before they could walk away from you. Today I'm going to show you why we do it. Let's call it what it is: anticipatory self-rejection. It's the psychological pattern where you exclude yourself from opportunities before anyone else gets the chance. And it shows up everywhere. You don't apply for the job because you assume you're not qualified enough, even though you meet most of the requirements. You end the relationship early because you're convinced they'll leave eventually anyway. You don't share your creative work because you've already imagined all the criticism. You stay silent in the meeting because you've decided before anyone else has that your ideas aren't valuable. And here's the worst part. It feels like you're being smart, realistic, like you're just protecting yourself from inevitable disappointment. But you're not. You're living behind a wall that you built brick by brick. And each time you pre-reject yourself, you add another one. The wall feels like safety, but it's actually a prison. So where does this come from? For most people, this pattern starts early. Maybe you grew up with inconsistent affection. Your parents loved you only when you performed perfectly. Or maybe you experienced rejection that left scars, the friend groups that excluded you, the romantic rejections that felt like character judgments, the times you tried and failed publicly. Your brain, remarkable, adaptive, trying to help, learned a lesson. If connection hurts, stop reaching for it. But here's what your brain got wrong. It gave you a solution that works in the short term, but destroys you in the long term. When you don't apply for the job, you avoid the sting of a rejection letter. When you don't express your feelings, you avoid the possibility of being turned down. Your anxiety drops immediately, and your brain says, "See, that worked." But what you don't feel, because it accumulates slowly, is the cost. The opportunities never taken. The connections never made, the version of yourself you never became, all because you rejected yourself first. And let me tell you the cruelest twist. By protecting yourself from rejection, you actually create rejection. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you enter interactions convinced they'll reject you, you behave differently, more guarded, less genuine, emotionally withdrawn. Other people sense that distance and respond accordingly. They pull back too. And suddenly you have proof that you were right to protect yourself. Except you created the very outcome you feared. So how do you break this cycle? First, you need to see the pattern. And I mean really see the pattern. Next time you feel yourself pulling back from something you want, pause. Ask yourself, am I making this decision based on actual evidence? Or am I fortune telling? Am I reading minds? Am I deciding for them what they think of me? Because here's the truth. You don't actually know what will happen. You're not psychic. And the story you're telling yourself about inevitable rejection is just a story. Second, and this is crucial, you need to redefine what rejection means. Rejection isn't a referendum on your worth. It's just information. When a company says no, they're saying, not this role, at this company, right now. When someone isn't romantically interested, they're saying this connection isn't the right fit, not you're unlovable. Does it still sting? Of course it does, but it won't destroy you. And once you realize you can survive rejection, it loses its power over you. Third, start practicing with micro risks. Small acts of putting yourself forward. Send the text you'd normally delete. Speak up once in the meeting. Share something you created with one person. Apply for one job, even if you don't meet every qualification. Each small risk rewrites the story your brain is telling. It builds evidence that you can take chances and survive. Sometimes you'll succeed, sometimes you won't, but either way, you'll be okay. And over time, something amazing happens. Your life starts to expand, not dramatically, not overnight, but gradually. Opportunities that used to terrify you become possibilities. Connections you would have foreclosed become real relationships. The self you kept hidden starts showing up in the world. Listen, you're not responsible for managing other people's responses by removing yourself before they can see you. You're not required to be so perfect, so palatable, that you'll never be rejected. You're allowed to take up space, to want things, to try and sometimes fail, to be seen, really seen, in all your imperfect, uncertain, beautiful humanity. Anticipatory self-rejection is a prison disguised as protection. But here's what you need to know. You've always held the key. The lock is fear. The key is choice. And the door opens from the inside. So here's my question for you. What's one thing you've been rejecting yourself from? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if this resonated, hit that subscribe button because we're diving deeper into the psychology of self-sabotage in the next video. You deserve to show up in your own life, and that starts today.